Alright YouTube, in this video we are going to see how to create this modern slider using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So this is the 81st project in my playlist. Let me just show you what it does. So if I click on this right button, you'll see a scroll bar shows up in the bottom. Let me just hide this tray. Now if we get into the extreme end, the button gets disappear. The same is true for the left button. If we get into the extreme left, the button gets disappear. As I click on the button, you'll see the scroll bar. It's just showing the amount of scroll left. So we have created the custom scroll bar for that. It's not the browser scroll bar, it's the custom scroll bar. Now as I said, this is the 81st tutorial. In case if you're interested in learning JavaScript, I will leave the link of all the 80 plus projects in the description. I would recommend you to start from scratch and come till the 81st project. So the reason for saying this is you will start by solving the small task, and as you keep on increasing the uh, episode number, you will find some advanced problem to solve. So in that case, you will just become from in a beginner level to intermediate level in JavaScript. Now the topics that we are going to cover in this tutorial is, so these are some property which we will have some knowledge of as we use in this project: grid layout and ternary operator, client width, scroll width, and these are the subtopics. So these are the topics which we would be solving this. You can see it as a problem. We will be creating as a custom scroll bar. We will be creating the left and right button and make this work. And the on clicking the left and right button, you will see the image container gets the scroll property, scroll function, and as I said, on once we reach to the extreme left or extreme right, the button will get disappear. And finally, the custom scroll bar, we'll be giving the update to the custom scroll bar as we switch, as we click. So it the scroll thumb, you can see the black position is the scroll thumb. It's getting updated as I click. So this is the functionality that we are going to see. Finally, let's get started. As always, I'll leave the link in the description in case if you got stuck somewhere, just copy paste it and start along with me. Alright, now let's make these buttons work. Now for the first thing what I have done is I have just made the previous button hidden by default, that with the help of CSS property which is display none. Now let's get into the CSS. Let's get the button in the JavaScript document.query selector. The button is inside container. Since we have multiple buttons, it's going to be query selector all. Now with the help of for each we can access individual button. We are setting an event listener which is click, add event listener which is click. We need to access the ID of the button, so v.id. with the help of console, let's just paste the v.id, get into the console. Once we click on the button, we would be getting the ID of the button. We don't need this. Refresh this again, click on the button. Yep, we are getting it. Now if the button is previous, no sorry, yeah, if it's next, or else we'll do one thing. Let me just show you without display none, so that we can see both the buttons, and we would be choosing the direction. So now direction, setting the direction. If the button dot id is previous, if the button dot id is previous, then it's going to be the negative value. We are using the ternary operator. If it is true, then we have to place -1. If it is false, then it's going to be 1. If it's false, means we have clicked on the right button. So let's just check the direction value by clicking on the button. Now we should get 1, 1, 1. If I click on the previous button, it should be -1, -1, -1. Cool. Now since we have got the direction, now it's time to set the scroll amount. What do you mean by scroll amount? So to get the scroll amount, we need the size of the container. So the size of the container is very big, but the viewable container is this much. So we need to get the viewable container. How we are going to get it? So it's actually not the container, it's the image list, image hyphen list, which holds the images. Since it's one value, query selector all is not valid, so it's image container. So if I get the image container, we can access, let's show you, image container dot width, client width. You should have thorough understanding of client width and scroll width here to understand this logic. Now client width, what we'll just see the viewable width. Let me just click either button so that we can trigger it. The client width gives the viewable width. So the viewable width is 866 pixel, but the scroll width is actually the full width, including the images which you can't see. So it's actually 290. Now we just need the client width, so just the viewable part, and we need to multiply with the direction. It's going to be either 1 or -1, which is going to be either plus 866 or -866, and we can assign this to a scroll amount value. Now this scroll amount value we need to set to the container. Call the container, which is image container dot scrollby. It's a we need to pass two value. The first one is the left value, which is actually the scroll amount, and the behavior, behavior. Behavior is going to be scroll smooth. It's actually a string. Now plus 366 plus 866 plus 866, and then minus 866 minus 866. Cool. Now we can make this display none by default, so that it's the scroll value is 0 now, so there is no point in scrolling left because there is no image there. Now the same way, once we reach certain value, that let me just show you, let me just show you the container left, so that you can have a understanding. Console.log scrollLeft. Now refresh it. On first click, the scrollLeft value is 0 because it's starting from 0. On the second click, it's 866. Cool. Now you got understanding. Now we need to add a listener on the button, sorry, image container dot add event listener, and this event listener is going to be scroll handle button. Is the function that will be triggered when there is a scroll event occurred on the image container. So get the first button. We can get the button by accessing the index value. The first one, since we have only 2 buttons inside the container, the first button is going to be previous and the second button going to be next. We are accessing the previous button, and we are giving the style dot display is equal to block. So we are again going to use the ternary operator. So if the scroll left value is greater than 0, scroll left value is greater than or equal to greater than 0, then it's going to be block, else is going to be none. Let's check again. That works. Now we need to get the max scroll left value. What is max scroll left value? The maximum scroll we can do over the image container. So max scroll left is going to be the image container's full scroll, which is scroll width, subtracting the viewable width, which is client. Now we need to assign the value to the right button accordingly. If image or scroll left exceeds the scroll left value, then it's going to be none, and this is going to be block. So just to see the value, console.log, and now you can see this is viewable width and this is full scroll width, and this is the actual scroll on clicking, and this is the max scroll width. Refresh this and just show you. So the first one is the viewable width, the second one is the maximum scroll that we can do, and the third one is actually the position that we are right now, and the fourth one is the condition. If it exceeds this, then this should go hidden. Cool. Now we are at the extreme end. So this is the viewable width, this is the max scroll width, and here this is where the condition is going to be. Now the problem is it is not going to exceed because it stops at 223. In that case, we can just add 10 to it. a hard-coded value. So once it reaches the extreme end, max scroll width, so I think we should give minus value. Once it reaches, yeah, it's gone now. The same way, it's gone. Fine. Now let's make this scroll bar work. Now let's make this scroll bar work. So the first thing is, as we handle the button on clicking, we need to create a function called handle scroll bar as well. Let's create a function. Now before that, we need to define the scroll bar container and scroll bar width, scroll bar thumb. So I have defined the scroll bar width, scroll bar container and scroll bar thumb. Now we need to get the current position of the scroll left of image container. So we got this image container or scroll width. Now we are going to set the thumb position. So we need to divide the scroll position divide with the maximum scroll left, and then multiplied with the total width of the scroll bar, subtracting the scroll bar thumb with minus 5 pixel. This is some arrangement, and we are assigning this value to the scroll thumb. So now you'll see the scroll bar will also get the scroll bar gets the left and right property on each button click. Now let's just show and hide the scroll bar. So scroll position, so we need to get the, yeah, this is the scroll bar container, and scroll, I don't know what class I have given over there. It's scroll bar, and by default it's going to be display none. It's still showing up. Yeah, let me just remove this and make this display none. Cool, now it's gone. So when I click on the button, on the handle scroll bar button, so we need to get this dot style dot display is going to be flex. Now refresh this. If I click on a button, you will see, yeah, you got it. Now after certain minutes it should get disappear. Set timeout, which is after 1 second it should get display, copy, paste. Instead of display, we'll play with opacity. Opacity 0, opacity 1, and opacity 0. It's a numeric value, so need not to surround with codes. Let this be flex, opacity 1. Oh, sorry, by default is going to be 0. Refresh it. Yeah, it's gone. If I click it, there is some jerk movement. To avoid that, we can give transition 0.5s. Click again, the same way. Cool.